Hi everybody, it's Louisa here, and I'm going to be showing you how I build this. I'm going to be doing another voiceover because I built this when my husband was home. And I thought, oh, let me craft while he's cleaning the car outside. But no, he kept coming in and slamming the door shut and, you know, going in and out and doing his burping like a man, at least this guy. So I decided to just keep crafting, and then I was going to do the voiceover. So as soon as I quickly show this to you, I'm not going to tell you all the file names except for this one. But actually, I will tell you that these two here, which is this, that's a file, and then the heart is a file, and that I share with you the numbers in the very last video for my Valentine series. This one, it's been a long time since I made, a while back, and I did share that with you. But this particular one, and when I say files, it's Silhouette Studio, Silhouette Store, I think it's called. And this one is called Heart Bow Tag, and the design ID is 60597. And it comes not only with the 2 layers to make this really pretty bow, it comes with the tail, and it also comes with like a tag behind it. I'm not sure if it's a layered tag. It looks like it's 2 pieces. That's a layered tag that this fits on. I didn't use it, so, and I've had this bow made for a while now. So anyway, again, the design ID is 60597. It's called a Heart Bow Tag. These two I share in my previous Valentine series. So I just wanted to make a quick easel card. I wanted it dimensional, but I didn't want to use too much stuff. So here it is. And if you stay tuned, I do show you how I build this, although I have made several videos where I show how I make these easel cards. Very easy for me, at least. But so anyway, let me just go ahead and stop here and then stay tuned for me putting this together. Okay, so right here I am sharing with you the paper that I used. Trying to scan in there and show you what it's called. So it's Echo Park, and it's called Yours Truly. Picked that up at Tuesday morning. So I'm going to do a quick flip through of all the pages just in case you wanted to see what was in there. Again, I got this last year at Tuesday morning. So whether or not you could find it still, I have no idea. But it's really pretty, and it's great for this time of the year. So I'm about to show you some other cardstock I use from Hobby Lobby. That's heavyweight cardstock. That's what's going to be my base, and then I'm using also to mat this pink collection of cardstock from Hobby Lobby. And that one right there I'm going to use as the actual card, the base. So it's like a cream color. I'm going to cut it long ways, 5.5 inches, only because when you fold an 11.5 length in half, then you get 5.5. So I like to have a square 5.5 inch card. So I just cut down the one side. And I'm going to score the middle of that card. Trying to bring it out of that little shadow there. So I'm scoring it in half, so it's 5.5 mark, folding it over, and then I came back with it because I forgot to do my little fold. But that's a regular card. But to do the easel, I'm bringing back that so that I could do my next fold. On one side, which would be the front, you're going to score the 5.5 in the middle, which I don't know measurements too well, so I just kind of mark it by folding it in half, just the one side. And then I take it back to the scoreboard and score it right on the mark. Because I suck at measuring things, but it's like about 2 3/4 right there. And then I just crease that. So there's like the base of an easel card. I pulled out that sheet to do one of the front pages or covers, and then the pink to do a matte. So I'll be matting, well, I'll be putting down the pink first and then matting it with the heart paper. So I cut down the pink one to 5.5 by 5.5 square, which would be the same size as my card. And you're only going to see a smidgen of that behind the other paper. I just like to have like a really thin matting. And then the heart one, which should be my next cut. And I'm just checking to see if, you know, I cut everything right. So the next one I'm going to cut just slightly under 5.5 by 5.5. So like a line before that half mark. And you can make it a bigger matting, so just cut it, you know, shorter or smaller, you know, whatever size you want. But I just wanted like a little thin pink border around that pattern paper. So here I'm making sure that I still have a little bit of a border, make sure I didn't, you know, like cut enough off to do so. And I was like flipping around, I couldn't tell which side I wanted. I'm going to be doing like a cover up for the back of the card. For when you open up the easel, you see the back. So I'm going to cut another piece that's also 5.5 by 5.5. Later on I find out that somehow I ended up cutting it too big, so I end up trimming it, but I don't think I shared that with you. I might have cut that part out. But you know, before you glue everything down, you just double check, and if you need to cut off anything, then you just cut off what you need to cut off. So I actually use the pink side, I don't use that black side there. Now I want to do the inside, and again I cut it just slightly under 5.5 by 5.5. I'm really not trying to get a matte finish, but I just, if you do it the same exact size when you fold a card, it kind of doesn't want to fold all the way down because the paper kind of gets in the way, so you want to cut it just slightly under so you have room to open and fold your card. Again, I don't do measurements. I hate measuring things, so the only thing I do know is 5.5 by 5.5 as far as my finished card. So yeah, now we're getting ready to glue everything together, and I'm just using that adhesive I'm about to show you. I found that at Walmart, and later on I'll be showing you the box that it comes in. And I like to use that for card making, and when I know that it's not going to be under any kind of stress, like for pulling, like in the pocket, a pocket or something like that. If you're going to be opening and closing or putting some kind of pressure on there, I like to use wet glue for that. But on a card, since everything just lays flat, I don't mind using that kind of adhesive. One thing I always forget to do is sign the back before I finish everything. So you might want to do that like at this point maybe, or as soon as you're done putting down those papers before you put embellishments. So I'm just carefully putting my paper inside. And I'm doing it so that it's not above the fold line, so that everything still is going to open and close right. And there's that box I was telling you. That's at Walmart. And it was under $6. I don't know why I have to take it. Oh yeah, I knew I needed another one. I was running low. I'm sorry, I'm drinking some Gatorade right now. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is okay before I finish adhering the rest of my papers down. That's the top layer that's going to go on to the other layer before I stick it to the actual card. And then now we're just going to adhere, put glue to the bottom half of that flap, only the bottom half, and then you stick that that piece that I just put together on top. And I use a little mat underneath just in case my glue goes outside of that. Yeah, just like it did there. I'm just trying to get it all in there. So now that one's going to go right on top of that. And I'm just trying to make sure it's all even before I press down. You might hear her knocking on the door. The mailman's outside. Last time I think the mailman came too when I was trying to record. Okay, so where are we at? Okay, so here's my little cutter, because now I don't need the big one. Everything is down to size. That cutter can cut 6 by 6. And there's the knocking on the door. Luckily, he just drops off the packages and keeps on trucking. See, right here is where I realized I think I cut that a little too big. I thought I cut that part out, but I guess not. And now you don't want to put the whole piece as one. And you'll see here that I'm going to be splitting it in half. But again, I had cut it too big, so I was just trimming off the excess. And now I'm going to mark where I want to cut it. I don't measure here because sometimes it just never comes out right when I measure, and I'd rather just mark it. You don't want to have too much there in that middle part because it'll be hard to lift your easel part, you know, and paper will get in the way or start getting undone. So you'll put 1/2 on the part that's not glued to your front, and then the other half to the other piece. And you'll see what I do here. And again, I do have several other start to finish easel cards, most of which take a lot more product on it because I used to like over decorate, even though you can never really over decorate anything, I personally think. I'll have easel cards that have like an explosion in the middle where it's torn in the middle and things are coming out, and rolled edges and ripped edges and lots of flowers and things. But I just try to keep it simple since I have so many Valentine projects that I wanted to get done, and I have several cards to make. Okay, so that is down. And then we can open and close that. I'm just going to press it down one more time. And there's a basic easel card, the way I like to make them. And that again is a finished 5.5 by 5.5. Now, I'm quickly just cutting out some of these pieces, but I'm only going to use one. I did speed it up a bit. That's the one I'm going to use on the left there. Okay, so there I have everything pulled out. That's from Target, the heart-shaped doilies. I'm looking at it, I was like, why does it look weird? It's because I put the doilies on the back side. They go in the front. But that's from Target, and I do have one out. That's just going to lay down flat. And I'm going to use my wet adhesive for that. My favorite wet adhesive. Now while I'm doing that, I do have to apologize. At the very end, I forgot to record how I glued on the little arrow that you saw in the beginning of this video. When I opened up the card, there's a little arrow that's my little stopper where the easel, you know, sits on. And that was part of a swap from Ginger. And I did stick a sticker from the paper collection on the bottom corner, and I did not share that with you, so I do apologize about that. That's one of those file cuts that I shared in my previous series. It reminds me of the Tim Holtz Scribbles dies. So I'm going to put that card down first with some foam tape, just for a little bit more dimension. I like to use the Tim Holtz scissors because it's like non-stick finish. My other hand was doing something at that time. I don't remember what, but usually I got two hands out there, but the second one went somewhere. I think I was trying to use my mouse and do something on my laptop at that time. Okay, so we're just going to lay that down in the center. I take my little scribble heart, and then that is the medallion that I also show you how I put together. It's another file, and it's in that previous video. And I am going to use wet adhesive here because there's such thin pieces on that cut. I wasn't about to use my hot glue gun there, even though I prefer to use the hot glue gun for as much as I can. I only put it down on the parts that's going to hit that card. There, I'm just trying to get any excess out. So another use for those medallions, other than just wands, is put it on a card. A really cute embellishment. And even though it has a heart on there already, I just wanted to add a little bit more red in there. So I pulled out that little embellishment pack that is crepe paper. And it is from Tuesday Morning, as you could see. Got that last year also. And I pull out the red one that says Happy Valentine's Day. I left it as is. It was just right like that, and that's where I'm going to lay it. I was trying to see, I don't know what, I wanted to pull off that foam tape for some reason, but I ended up just leaving it. And then just trying to center it with the other one. And then I'm going to put my bow and I mentioned at the beginning of this what file that is from the Silhouette store. And again, I like to pre-make a lot of my bows and pinwheels and medallions and rosettes. So, you know, you just have to either go back to some of my videos or just keep watching, because I do share that in other videos, and I'm not going to tell you the files every single time I pull one out. decide that's where the bow is going to go because I couldn't figure out where else to put it. Now I could have added more like a bling in the center, but I thought, you know, this is just right. I don't want to keep going because then I will never stop and I'll just keep adding more and more to it. And of course, like I said, I did forget to record the rest, so thank you all for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.